Tonight we have this interesting topic that you cannot fix your child. I don't know what is the emotions that go through you when you hear that topic, because I think each one of us have flooding emotions, right? It's thinking either agreeing or disagreeing, or maybe just having a few, how can I say, paradox feelings about it. So write down, if you can, a comment or two about that topic, how you feel about that, either fixing or not being able to fix your child. It will be great to hear what you say. I'm going to, like always, share from my experience and the way I see things. And please know that there's no right and wrong answer in this whole process. We all learn from each other, and we all have feelings and experiences. My thing is just, if we can't start sharing it, then we can't learn from each other. So this is why I'm doing this. I'm sharing, and I want to give you the platform to share as well, and to just share how you feel about it and what you've experienced. Okay, so in our topic today, I think the way I've experienced it is that when we look at therapy or the approach towards our children's treatment plans as the solution to all our problems, it is in that moment that therapy might become a problem. That all the energy and all the, how can I say, expectations that you throw into helping your child becomes a problem, because all your hopes and all your dreams are vested in that, in everything that medication or therapy programs or products can give you to improve things for your child. Improvement for our children, I mean, that is good. Whenever we see children improving, it's breakthroughs and it's celebrations, and that we need to celebrate. But I think there's a difference in accepting our realities and taking therapy and medications and suggestions as the extra, and working with that in our whole family system, and not just taking everything we have, all the energy we have and all the resources that we have, and throw it only at that. That is my experience, that when therapy and when treatment plans become a problem, especially in family setups. If we look at the whole system, usually of what our families consist of, there's so many elements, right? It's not necessarily what, it's who. We've got our spouses, we've got our families, we've got siblings to our children, we've got our finances to look at, we've got our physical health to look at, we have got our mental health to look at. All these elements play a role in our special life. And it's not that easy to be able to just pin that on our boards if therapy is the only focus that we as a family put all our energy in. Usually something goes. There's lots of our parents, when you have special need child, that get divorced. There's lots of parents who have burnout, or mentally just falls into depression and battle to get out of anxious living, because it's so natural. If that focus, that thing of saving your child, fixing your child, becomes the ultimate goal and the only reason why you get up in the morning, things are going to go skew. And it's not easy to distribute our focus, because when you have a problem and when you can see something that is hard to digest. And if you can experience this whole, like we spoke in the previous section, it's trauma, right? It's our children are actually the trauma that we're living through, and they are living, breathing human beings. And every time we realize we look at them and we see the things that are lacking or missing or different, we battle with that. It's so natural to battle with that because it's out of the norm. And our natural thing is, but can't I do something else? Isn't there anything else that I can do to fix this, to make it better, to just either feel like I am not going to suffer through this anymore, or to feel like I can save my child from their suffering, right? It's so normal. But that focus can do so much harm. It can do so much harm if we cannot revisit and distance ourselves a bit from that situation. I think the way we can also look at this whole thing is to distinguish the two elements that is playing a role when it comes to our children and us in this whole situation of bringing out the best in them, right? And the hopes and the dreams that we have for them. The first element is our child's development and functioning, because that is something that the moment either you start experiencing problems with your child or the day that they get diagnosed, that is a visible, tangible element. That is what we're dealing with. And the second element is the actual means that we have to throw into our child's development to help our children. And that will mean the capacity that we have physically, mentally, and socially to help this child, and also then financially. Things that I really get disturbed about and worried about is when I hear of families having to financially totally deplete all their resources to help their child. And I understand that because I think there's this little fear that we sit with all the time, and that is, one day when my child is older, and they ask me, or if they at all have the capacity to ask me, what did I do for you? I want to tell them I did everything I could to help you. I don't know if you ever have that fear, but I had that. The thing is, when they look back, what am I going to tell them? What did I do when this crisis was presented to us? Did I do my best? Did I do everything that I could to help them? But the reality is, if that our whole beings was thrown into just that one focus or element of them, point one, did I really love them for who they were? And point two, what was the damage that came out of that? For our family connections, for everyone around us, for us physically, for us emotionally, what was the damage? And then if they ask me that question, what would the overall outcome be? Would I have to explain other things like, but that's the reason why you never could have things. That's, why your dad and I got divorced. That's why we don't have any family members that ever contact us anymore. Do you understand what I'm getting at? It's such a important decision and balance that we have to take in consideration. And that does not mean that what you are doing is wrong for your child. It just means that we constantly have to weigh it up and not just go full force into saving our children at the cost of people and many resources that we have. I hope that makes sense, and that is something that can resound with you. Another another issue, not issue, but point or element that I want to bring up is, that no one can actually fix our children. Not us and not doctors can really go and turn the core of what the diagnosis is physically in their hands. No one of us have that. And I think that is why people like us, the special needs parents, we get confronted with God. We do, because we ask the questions. We ask, why would this happen to me? Why would this happen to my child? Why? And we don't often get the answers. But the thing is, the answers that I have gotten, not the answers I wanted, but the answers that I got, was that every one of our lives has certain learning curves, and it's got experiences that we have to learn from. And we will not be those who choose what we want to learn from. God chooses. He is the one that decides how our lives would go. And it sounds cruel sometimes on the one hand, and on the other hand, you know what? Other people has a motor car accident and they end up paralyzed for their lives, or they end up with cancer, or this life is hard. It's a troublesome, hard life, and we all have a struggle that we have to go through. But when we deny our road and the special road that's been given to us, two things can happen. One, we can actually, when we focus on trying to fix this problem ourselves, we can actually miss what we need to learn. And the other thing is that we can actually miss just being a parent to our children. At the end of the day, with everything said and done, we are supposed to love and accept our children. And it's hard. It is very hard. Even for a parent who has no problems with their kids, no physical disabilities or chronic decisions or diseases or anything, they battle to accept their children because they want to teach them and they want them to live the dream that they always wanted them to live. But it doesn't always work out that way. And just the same is that for us, at the end of the day, after everything is said and done, and after we've done what we believe that we have to do, and we've struggled through the lonely nights and the hard mornings and the total exhaustion and, emotional battles, that we can love our children for who they are and for the gift that God given us. And that brings freedom. That brings such a release on our purpose and our function as parents with special needs kids at the end of the day. I hope that makes sense to you, and that is something that you can grab onto.